Hey, it's Jabbo. Welcome to BrickTsar, your home for vintage Lego and the world's largest unnecessary tipper truck army that nobody else wants to do because they're not crazy. I'm crazy, so I'm going to do it. So what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to be building 78 tipper trucks. I did find the wheels that I was short on the other 5 or so. So I got a total, unless I messed up in the parts, which is possible, I should be able to build 78 tipper trucks. So I'm going to put the camera down on this, and then I'm just going to film it real time, and then I'll decide, depending on how this goes, how long I may do some BrickTsar answer thingy questions over this, or I may do a speed up version of it, like a time lapse. I just want to know how long it's going to take. So yeah, I'm going to build them, and since I'm filming this before I actually build them, I may get tired halfway through, so I may not even finish it. So let's see what happens. Future people can comment below what I did. Actually, I'll know what I did because I uploaded it before you saw it. I don't know. We're going to build 78 tipper trucks. Oh, and I'm wearing the Flash t-shirt, the vintage Flash t-shirt. I didn't want to wear this shirt because it's one of my favorite ones. It's one I've worn in a lot of videos, and I'm kind of I was saving some of my favorite shirts for later in the year when I'm getting low on shirts, but I'm wearing a different shirt every day, and I thought since I'm going to be building a lot of these, and I am going to be, regardless of how long it takes me, it will be the Guinness Book of World record for fastest build of 78 tipper trucks. Plus it'll also be the record for the most amount of tipper trucks built and the most tipper trucks in a collection. It's unofficial. Guinness doesn't care. I'll make it the Coors world record. How about that? So while I build this, I think I'll go over some comments, questions, and BrickTsar answer thingies as we do this. Couldn't really decide where to start. Well, so I've gotten a lot of comments that I haven't responded to. I'm not going to show the comments on the screen, but I'm going to read them and acknowledge who left them. And this one is from Matthew Hawker, who's actually a pretty knowledgeable person as far as like vintage Lego stuff, memorabilia, like the wooden things that they used to do back in the day. And on the videos where I was talking about the other Lego company, the one that was in Japan and a few other countries that made the bobbleheads and ceramics, but he said definite company entirely. One of the Lego employee magazines I have from the 1990s actually has a brief piece on the Lego ceramics from Japan. They treated it like a curiosity. If you look deeper, you will find the Lego name has been used by companies long before the Lego we know. I know I've seen the name before in relation to industrial engines. Now that's interesting. Like something that's totally not even a toy. Pretty neat. So while we're looking at tipper trucks here, as I'm very slow at building, by the way. Let's see, this is Joe B Tube says, if this is an army of tipper trucks, maybe these color swapped ones can be the sergeants and captains. So they're on the wall behind me. Dang it. There, I ducked so you can see them. But the multicolored ones, and I'll probably end up making even some more. I am going to try to order some of the yellow tippers. There's a seller that had a decent quantity of them, but I'm not 100% sure he ships to the United States. So I'm trying to get those yellow tippers. But yeah, I don't know anything about rank in either military or police, but he's got like sergeants and captains. I think if I think about it, Columbo was a lieutenant. And I think he had sergeants under him, and the captains were above him. I think I'd have to have one of them be a lieutenant. And then you had Captain Stottlemyre, and yeah, he was over Lieutenant Randy Disher. I think that's how it worked. Anyway, so another thing about tipper trucks is, here's one comment from Andrew Burton, who said, "You've got a great big convoy. Ain't she a beautiful sight?" You know what? That brings back some memories. As a kid, I don't know why. It's a horrible movie, but Convoy had Chris Christopherson and that guy that sang the song Convoy. I think I had the 45 single of the song Convoy. Well, Rubber Duck, ain't she a beautiful sight? Now, that's a direct quote from that song. It's been 40 years. I can't remember all the words, but yeah, if I heard the song again, it would bring back those memories. And anyway, here's a comment from Jags Martin. He says, perhaps one solid color for each truck: red, black, yellow, white, and blue, plus the original truck. Now, that's an interesting thought. Instead, of course, all the tippers only got two choices for the tippers: yellow and blue. That's the only two colors they made. There could be a red test one out there that somebody made, but I don't know. But just make everything solid colors. So using all the vintage correct colors, that's an interesting idea. Mayo Hosco says, hashtag Tipper Truck Army, maybe you should do recolors of the biplane and the payloader. Can't wait to see your Lego City return. So those would be two that would be easy to do. The little holder for the payloader, I think that one was in more than two. It might have been more than two colors. I'll have to actually look it up. There was a yellow one. I think there was a blue one. Might have been a black one and a red one. There might be four colors. So you could make multicolored payloaders. And the biplane, of course, that's all standard parts. So that one would be pretty easy. So Brett Donahue says, man, I got to buy some stock in the tipper truck. I feel like it's about to take off. Yeah, we're like GameStop here. We're just manipulating the market. It's not illegal, but yeah, get it while you can. And it is. I'm actually having a hard time now. I'm still trying to buy more, but it is actually really hard to find a combination of a decent quantity, like more than one or two, and a seller that will ship to me. And there's not a lot in the U.S., and there are a few sellers that have some things, but they're asking way too much for them, but that may be my fault. And there's not many listings on eBay, and most of the sets on eBay are going for like $20 now, which is kind of steep for that set. Yeah, that's my fault. I like this idea from Philip Eddy Rube Goldberg in GBC. He says, if I had the parts for the tipper trucks, I would build one of those Mindstorm powered machines that would automatically make the tipper truck assembly line method. So, when I first saw this comment, I was thinking of, he was talking about using the tippers in a GBC, but what he's saying is building a machine that instead of somebody slowly building if I only built like 8 of them, instead of having me build them, have a machine build them. That would be actually pretty neat. It's only 17 parts. I'm sure you could figure out the sequences of the pattern to build it. But when I'm building this, I realized after I built maybe a whole row, I can't remember. It was easier. I kept picking the pieces up and holding them. I found out it was easier just to build it the way Lego intends you to build it, pushing it down on the table. My hands actually got sore on the first row, but as I went on, when I started just using the table, it got a lot easier. So Denise James brings up an interesting point. Well, I'll read her whole comment first. It says, you can always make more. It's an army with varying combinations of colors. And this is the question. Where in the world are you going to display them? You'll need to build a parking garage on your shelves. And that's the dilemma. So after I filmed this video that we're watching right now, I ended up putting them all in a cardboard box for now. So yeah, I would like to make some type of display for them. Alright, so Sin Killer J Tachikawa says, uh-oh, this addiction is getting bad. He's experimenting with different ways of building tipper trucks because the stock way just doesn't give him a buzz anymore. Yeah, it's like a drug, man. He says, if you aren't too worried about being proper Lego, maybe you could easily make a silicone mold of the bucket to cast some custom colors. So I need to get somebody to show, maybe I can watch a tutorial on how to make a mold, because perhaps if we made a mold, we could get somebody to 3D print them. I don't know how expensive it is. I'm sure it's pretty expensive to 3D print anything. But that would be an idea, to have somebody mold some of different colors of them. That would be pretty cool. Now, Scott Lawrence says, how about making one using only modern pieces? And that's an interesting question. The only problem is the wheels and the windshield and the bucket. So you would have to come up with, the modern wheels, which there are. I don't know if there's any like recent times, but there was some, I know, through the 90s that were wheels that had the treads, and then there was another windshield piece that could be substituted for the old windshield piece. But the tipper, that's the problem. You'd have to, I guess, come up with another idea for a tipper that, and I'm sure you could probably think of something that it seems like it'd be more pieces or a little bigger, but it's an interesting idea, that's for sure. So as you admire me building very, very slowly, every time I look up at the screen and see where it's at, I'm like, is that all I've built? I think by the time I'm done, it was a little under a minute per build, which when you think about, okay, I built it in a minute, that sounds fast, but I really needed to be building these in like 30 seconds to make this a quick video, but I did not. But we're going to cover some BrickTsar answer thingy questions from various people, unrelated to tipper trucks at this point here. Oh wait, before I get to that, here's a comment from Linda Plim, who says, I love your tipper truck army. I think the white and yellow trucks should have red supports, and the black truck should have yellow supports. And also, I think the army might look best with all blue buckets coming down the road. So I appreciate that, and I really love the different ideas for the colors, because there's almost even though there's only a few colors, just all the various combinations, and some might look better than others. So I do need to try to make more versions of it as I get more buckets for it. But here, we'll get to some of the non-related ones. This is from Michael Innocente, who says, I'm not sure if you've already answered this, but what set has the least amount of pieces? So it also ends up leading to a debate, like, what is a set? I think there are things that are like items, and there are a lot of items that are one piece. But I don't know if it technically could be called a set, because you're not assembling anything. The one piece could be a keychain. It's all one piece. One piece could be one of the base plates for a train. Those came in a bag as one piece. One piece could be the Mindstorm's control unit. Actually, that might be more than one piece, because it might have a battery box cover. But you know what I mean. There's a lot of things that are just one piece. I just don't know if those count as a set, but there's a seemingly endless number of those. So yeah, that's an interesting question. I don't know what will qualify though as a set as it is. Oh, here's an interesting comment from Evan Blickensop. He said, I've been thinking about a white color swap for the 3450 Statue of Liberty, and I've also seen someone make an all-white one. It looks incredible. It almost looks like a prototype Lego architecture set. So that is an interesting idea, because the Statue of Liberty, obviously with the sand green, it's very hard to make. But if you choose to make one in another color, then yeah, I would try that. Technically, it's not green. I mean, it is green because the metal has oxidized and made it look green. I think it should be like a bronze or copper color, but white would look amazing, and it's definitely doable. Actually, white, red, and black and yellow would be all ones that you could possibly do. I just don't know if any of them would look better than white, like your idea. But yeah, you could. I'm sure that people have done other colors, and what would be really interesting if they did like a chrome, which that would be impossible because they don't make the enough of the parts and those pieces to do that. Somebody'd have to custom chrome them. So I got more comments. Go through some of these other ones that people left, and I don't think I'm ever going to get done with this first row. Actually, am I done with the first row? This is just, oh my goodness. Here's a question from a Brick in Time. He says, the yellow castle is looking good. That's right behind me there, right in the middle of the screen. Oop, I just walked in front of it. He says, has Charlie broken or stolen any Lego yet? Yeah, well, yes. I've actually covered this in a couple of videos. Of course, it's not a dedicated video, so these are actually kind of hard to find, and I would have a hard time actually finding the video to show you. But he did knock off the original UCS X-Wing fighter. That was a set that, if you go back into my early days on YouTube, I did a trade with Mardi Gras Man 23. Speaking of Mardi Gras Man 23, he and I and Brick Trains, we all do a podcast on Brick Trains channel. It's every other Friday. But that Mardi Gras Man 23, he traded me. I don't even remember what I traded him. I have to go back and find the videos where we did our trades. But yeah, that X-Wing fighter had been on display since that time, and it was on a top shelf. And Charlie, like typical cat, likes getting it on high places, and he was walking on that top shelf, and he bumped it and knocked it off. And it had the blue pieces in it were brittle, or one like a 2x8, I think, blue brick that's inside the build. It actually, or maybe it was a plate. I can't remember, but and it broke. It broke the piece. So that's a piece that he broke in a set that he broke, and there were some other sets that he knocked off the. Fortunately, it didn't fall to the ground, but he knocked over the Death Star. That one scared me. I thought it landed on another box. It didn't come all the way down to the ground, but that thing would have gone into a million pieces, and we weren't recording it either to see it. So yeah, Charlie has definitely broken some Lego, or knocked some sets over and broken them. So Mayo Hosco, he comments on a lot of our older videos. This is from an old video. He says, will you bring back your old graphics by Jags Martin? I think what's appealing about your channel is all the nostalgia about your content. So that's a throwback. Jags, he designed different logos that I've used on several of my channels actually, but I used to have the BrickTsar answer thingy logo, and I would do it for hauls. He had one with Carl the Mailman Malone, and I haven't used a lot of his artwork here. I haven't used any artwork hardly at all lately. And I tell you what happened is, I have some of it on, wait, do I have any of it on my phone? So I edit almost everything on my phone now. I'm almost 100% iPhone, film, edit, everything. Make my thumbnails. I hardly do anything on my Mac. The only time I'll use my Mac is if there's something I can't do on my phone for some reason, which usually involves, as I'm thinking about as I'm doing this, in order for me to do this time-lapse style, I'd have to put this video on my Mac, and then I have more options of changing the speed. But on my phone, I'd have to double the speed, then double the speed again, and then double the speed again. I'd have to process the video like 10 times to shorten it. So see, I'm extremely lazy, so you're watching it real time. But that being said, all my videos I edit on my phone, and the artwork, the graphics that Jags made, who's a regular commenter. In fact, did I read one of his comments in this video? I can't remember. Yeah, but he sent me a lot of stuff. I'm talking a long time ago, and they're on my computer, my Mac, or my old computer, and I need to get them transferred as images onto my phone. where I can use them. But yeah, I got this phone that I've been using the last year and a half or so. So that's a good question. So I got more from Mayo. This is from the Lucille Stranger Bricks episode. That one disappointed me. Now I know it isn't an in-demand set, but it was, I was the first one to show that, I think, on YouTube. It's the stupid mascot for the San Francisco Giants, AT&T Day, and I'm an AT&T guy, so I wish they would do something like that over here in my area, but they don't. It's it's San Francisco. But anyway, so the mascot's named Lucille, which it's Lou, L-O-U, Seal, S-E-A-L. He's a seal. But Lucille is also the girl that was washing the car in Cool Hand Luke. So I made a reference to that in that video. But anyway, Mayo's question on that video says, I'm a Red Sox fan, # Red Sox Nation. You live in Australia. Well, I guess you got to pick a team somewhere. So, okay, I can live with that. He says, so I'm not buying this set. He said, Bat, will you ever bring back Stranger Bricks? It'd be great if you bring back all your old segments so you can diversify your content in 2021. So, Stranger Bricks was an idea that was more of a an intro. I just wanted to use that Stranger Things intro, which actually got me in trouble. I didn't get a copyright strike, but I got a copyright claim on the music, even though the music was not Stranger Things. It sounded like Stranger Things. So apparently you can't do that either. So they eventually did copyright claims on that. So I deleted the music on the videos that got that claim because I didn't want them getting the revenue, and all it was a stupid intro anyway. But yeah, I should. It would be neat if I had little 5-second intros, 3 to 5 second intro clips for like different segments. Because my intention for this going forward, as I refine everything, is everything be segments, and that would be neat if you had a segue into a segment, whether it be like Weird Lego or Stranger Bricks or BrickTsar Answer Thingy, or It's Time for a Haul with the Mailman, or Lego Element Daily, or whatever stupid idea I come up with. If I had a intro segment, just like a quick graphic or sound. So, but this year on my channel, what I've been doing is a little different than what I've ever done, even though a lot of it's the same. Essentially, it's the same. I'm just not doing dedicated videos to one thing. So it's like each day is a video that will at least include me talking about something related to Lego and wearing a different t-shirt and including a comment or more from viewers. So I usually would pick one comment or question and cover that. I also had intended to do like one set, like not a review, but just saying this is a set in my collection, this is what I think of it, and then do a wanted list item. So those would be segments. And the way I visualized it, and it hasn't turned out this way at all as I do the channel, but it's been like 10 to 15 to 20 minute videos. I thought these were going to be like 6 or 7 or 8 minute videos, but I talk a lot. So that happened, and so I've cut back on things, like I've not done the set in the video or the wanted list items necessarily, but if I can get more of a routine of how I film these and edit them, then I think I could have those segments going forward. Now the t-shirt thing, that will come to an end, and then I will have to either recycle through the t-shirts or come up with another idea. I do like the idea of everything being different as far as what I'm wearing, but yeah, I don't want to go through an infinite number of clothes depending on how long I live or do YouTube. So all that's gonna end at one point, and maybe I'll just recycle through the same shirt for the same day of the year. It's going to be possible because I've kept the shirts. I've kept them in the order that I've worn them. this really strange sense of organization. I'm not a very organized person, but right now, yeah, the shirts are all in the order that I've worn. That is my way of making sure I don't wear the same shirt twice in a video. Well, I made that a really long answer to a simple question about stranger bricks. And Mayo also asks, is Mrs. BrickTsar, well, it's not really a question. It says Mrs. BrickTsar doesn't like being on camera, but it's cool when she is. Yeah, that's a personal preference. I don't think anybody should be forced to be on camera, and I never did. I always asked her if she wanted to do it, and it's not, she enjoys helping me with the Bricklink store, and she's always asking me what we're doing with our videos and stuff, but it's not. And she'll watch a few of them. If I tell her Charlie's in it or something, or we do something funny, she'll want to see it. But as far as being in the videos, it's not her thing, and I'm not going to ever pressure her to doing it. But you know, if it works out in the future, she might be in one. So another comment from Mayo says, your Yoda and Patrick voices crack me up. You're the world's greatest ventriloquist because I didn't see your mouth move. Did you dub Yoda's voice or something? Hashtag BAP. And so when are you going to do a proper review of the Unitron monorail? So first of all, I am not Yoda. He actually doesn't like it when people think that I am him. And I want to be honest, I got to be completely transparent with you. All right, and this is going to come as a shock to you. So Yoda, you know, you see him on screen. He's this lovable, funny little green alien that laughs and has a funny voice and is a little mischievous, but he's very smart. But he seems like, you know, on screen, he's like this friendly, loving, adorable character. But let me tell you something, man. In real life, the guy's a jerk. He's got an ego. He's a little sarcastic. He doesn't like Bionicle. So yeah, he's not the same guy you see on the TV or on the movies. It's just one of those things, you know. You see the character on TV or in a movie, and you think that's the way the actor is. Nope, not with him. He's totally different. So, just letting you guys know, Yoda is not what he seems to be. So I got another comment in BrickTsar Answer Thingy question, and I was trying to figure out how to include this in a video, but it's from Oliver Radenmacher. And he says, hey, Joseph. Wait, who's Joseph? Oh, yeah, that's me. He says, hey, Joseph, I am a Lego collector my whole life. Could you please do a really detailed video about the different type of 1x and 2x bricks? I got a whole bunch of CA, that's cellulose acetate, CA bricks that only distinguish in the logo being perpendicularly or horizontally. Is there any way to find out what set they come from? Furthermore, I am trying to complete sets from different eras with the right pieces 100%. Greetings from Germany. All right, so I have done videos about how you can get within maybe like 10 years on a lot of the pieces. But when you talk about the CA bricks, cellulose acetate, you know, those are going to be pretty much 60s or before. There may be some that were left in stock that they may have trickled into some sets even into the 70s. I don't think there would be many examples of that, but as far as like distinguishing between early 60s, mid 60s, late 60s, I don't know. They all look the same to me, and it's not as big a concern to me with that. I more or less look at maybe like if they're pat pending marked out, no pat pending, no cross supports, no pins on the underside, those types of things that are clearly noticeable. pip on the side or pip on the stud, things like that. And so I pretty much, when I narrow it down to era, it's usually 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s and up. So I don't worry too much. So I'm definitely not going to do a detailed video. There are some people on Flickr that I think have gone into it, but even so, there's so many varieties and variations, but it would be very challenging to do that, and but it's something that you might find satisfying for your own personal collecting, is like looking up those things online. But just in my experience, especially with the older stuff, and then you got, what's the difference between a brick made in a Samsonite set versus one made in Europe? Some of the Samsonite sets got parts that came from Europe. Some were produced in the factory in Colorado. So you get sets that have a mixture. I have sets that I'm pretty confident came with both regular ABS plastic and the old CA plastic. So you run into little challenging things like that. But as far as doing a detailed video, breaking it down, I wouldn't do it. But I say all that, and then as I'm building these tipper trucks, I could tell when the 2x2 plates and the 2x4 plates and the 4x8 plates really weren't the correct era. They'd either have more of a shine to them, or you could see the on the underside they weren't from the era. Also with the 1x4 bricks and the 1x2 yellow bricks, some of those were probably more modern. And the biggest thing with the tipper truck, those 1x4s, so tipper trucks mid-70s, the 1x4s and the 1x2s, they're going to have the little mark on the side that looks like somebody punched it with or tried to bite it really in the center on the side, and it looks like a defect, but it's not a defect. That's where it was actually held in the mold. And so that's how you can tell if you got your 70s or close to the 70s, at least that it's not a modern brick, like 90s and up. I don't know when the year is they stopped doing the side pip, but that's so a lot of these tipper trucks, they are a mixture of the vintage parts, the parts that are definitely vintage, the windshield, the tipper, the wheels, and then the ones that could be from any era, the plates and the bricks. So I got a couple of questions, or actually a couple of comments from Matt Prather. He says, I would love to see the army of tipper trucks. Is that weird? Sure, but I love it because it's unusual. I bet you could buy most of them to raise the price. So yeah, it is weird. I agree. And I love it too because it is unusual. And yes, I've already seen that it is raising the price, that's for sure. And here's another one from him. He says, don't apologize for telling about your interest. And that's where I talk about, like when I do the different shirts, it's definitely going to get into non-Lego stuff. And then also sometimes when we're talking about things in general, I'll get into subjects, whether it be music or other hobbies or interests that aren't Lego related, or I'll sometimes mention those. And sometimes I can roundabout way relate them to Lego, but it lets you know who I am as a person. But anyway, I shouldn't have interrupted that. Let me just read the whole comment again. He says, don't apologize for telling about your interest. Even though it might sound creepy, we know so much about you and don't know much of and you don't know much about any of us creepers watching you. It makes it more enjoyable to watch. I was a little young at the time, and I don't really know or listen to REM when they were out, but I like their music. Do you really have 365 different shirts? I can imagine having that many. LOL. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I just know I got a lot. So here's another one from Mayo. He says, will you do bat videos like this again? And this is on an old video, very old video, BrickTsar Answer Thingy video. He said, will you do a bat video like this again on a weekly basis, maybe you could do a 20-minute bat video once a week on the same day. All right, so instead of doing that, I'm going to do this 1 hour video here. No, I think I'll just keep doing what I'm doing now. If I start getting more questions that I can really give good answers to, I might do one of the videos each week there where I focus more on questions, and I've kind of done that. But again, my format this year, at least, is I'm not doing dedicated videos that are really just about one thing, although the questions lend themselves to being about more than one thing. But I haven't said, okay, this is going to be a BrickTsar answer thingy video, for instance. But that's maybe in the future I could change that and do that like we used to do. We used to just get down in front of the webcam, Jacob and I, and we'd just go over the different questions. Sometimes it'd be the same questions you had before, but it was kind of fun doing that back in the day. It's very low quality, just hit record and go. No editing involved at all. So I wouldn't mind doing easier videos. And again, I'm not putting the graphic of the comments up. I do like to do that when I can. Just it kind of makes, I want to give people credit for the comments, the suggestions, and the questions they have. And I'm not doing it in this video. Main reason is I didn't want to hide the fact that I'm actually building these, even though it's not really going to accomplish anything. It is the most they've ever been built. I'm pretty confident that nobody has ever done what I'm doing, so I just wanted to have it up there real time, not sped up, not time-lapsed. It's a boring video of me building a bunch of sets, and I knew if I talked while I was building, it would take twice as long. So as long as this video is, it would have been a lot longer had I been talking instead of doing a voice. So I'm doing a voiceover now. Did y'all think I was actually building and talking right now? How many people thought I was building and talking? Anybody? I mean, you can see my mouth's not moving, right? Okay, I'm just making sure. But yeah, BrickTsar answer thingy. There will be comments, questions, suggestions that we'll discuss in each video as we go along. And so it's not dead. It's just done in a different way right now. So Mayo's bringing some more questions. One of them is, would you ever recreate your old backdrops? Hashtag bat backdrops for nostalgia. This setup was your second generation of bat videos. And this is, you know what? I can't even see the thumbnail I'm looking at. Yeah, I know y'all can't see it because I'm not showing it on the screen. Jacob looks pretty young there. So I know some of them were filmed in an area where the back of the room looked dark, and then we kind of did it in front of the shelves. We've done them in front of... did we ever do any of them in front of the curtain? There was a curtain we used. We also did videos in front of boxes tacked to a wall or a one of those bulletin boards. So we have had a lot. I think we've done them in front of a green screen. We've done all kinds of ways. I like being in front of my display cases or other Lego setups that we have, just standing. I think that's my favorite thing, is just to stand. We did a lot of those old videos sitting down, but I prefer standing. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's more comfortable for me. But he's got Mayo. I don't think anybody's watched more of my videos than him. Maybe Mardi Gras Man might have him beat. He said, would you ever do the Batman music in your Bat videos again for nostalgia? I don't collect architecture, but my favorite is the Trafalgar Square. Oh, that was on an architecture video. So, the Batman music. That's another mistake. So, I think I meant to say this earlier in this video, but I'm not using music in any videos. I don't think I've used music in any videos so far, which will make it a challenge. If I do a time lapse, I'll either need to do a voiceover over the time lapse, or I will have to break down and use music. And if I do, I'll use clearly royalty-free music by Kevin MacLeod. I've run into some issues using non-royalty-free music, and that's just wrong. And I knew I didn't have the rights to use the Batman music, even if it's just for a short segment. And I think that's the trap. A lot of people think if you use it just for a short time, you won't get in trouble. At the time, the Batman TV show, was in a dispute over the copyright, so nobody had the copyright for a while there, or there was actually somebody had it, but they were fighting over it, so they weren't going after anybody. And then once that got resolved, I guess, and because then that's we were able to buy the DVD collection of all the Batman TV shows, and it was a short time after that. Then I had a lot of my videos get claimed that I had like a 8-second intro using the Batman music, so I had to remove that music from the video. So no, that will never ever happen again. I did like it because we were actually playing the actual album and I did use clips from those albums, which were clips from the episodes, and those got claimed. So yeah, the big stupid YouTuber mistakes that these are things that I can't blame anybody. I mean, I knew it was wrong. It's not a risk that I'm gonna take again. And no, I didn't get any copyright strikes. What they do is they just claim it and they take all the revenue. So they got like all 12 cents of my money that it would have come to me from those videos. But yeah, don't use non-royalty free music. So that will never happen again. Well, I never say never, but I don't plan on doing that of any type of music. So the other things, so no music, no text in the thumbnail. The thumbnail is just me and whatever backdrop I have. I may at some point put other images to the side, on either side of me in the thumbnails. That may change through the year, but this is the year of simplicity. BrickTsar is being simple, not necessarily out of laziness. It's just an experiment. I want all the videos to be the same format, and we're going to see how it goes throughout the year. There's no sell here. BrickTsar is not selling you anything, and other than the promise that I'll have a different shirt tomorrow. That's all I promise. I can't even promise that I'll answer your question if you ask it. I try to do it, but it's just oh my goodness. I'm reading some more of these comments here. I got so many comments I'm behind on. A Brick in Time says, Jabbo, keep the challenge going. Do you have enough shirts to last a year, or do you think you might have to buy some? So I have bought some. I think, you know what? I think I actually answered this question the other day in a video. But yeah, Jacob, we filmed another video that upload another day, and he was wearing a shirt that he had made for himself. It was like a personal inside joke for him and his friend, and I was like, oh, that's pretty neat. But I'm always getting shirts or looking for shirts. So the question then is, do I buy shirts just so I don't run out of shirts? I don't know. We did have an idea, though. I have my old uniform from my defunct company that I got some of those shirts that I can wear, so those will be coming up in future videos. I haven't decided when. I won't wear them all back to back, but I got a lot of different shirts. I still got the high school shirts. So I've worn some really old ones that were 25 to 28 years old, I think. I don't think I've gotten into any of my 80s stuff. So I have shirts from the 1980s. I think as we go through, the oldest shirt that I may be able to wear, I may not be able to wear it. I'm not 100% sure. But I know I have a shirt from 1985 that I still own. And if it's not moth-ridden, I'm going to try to put it on. I may have to wait till I lose a little bit more. Actually, I had lost some weight, and then I gained it all back because of Cobra Kai. We discussed that in another video that you'll probably see either, it'll probably be after this one, I can't remember. But yeah, Cobra Kai, I've been drinking the non-light beer that I don't need to drink, so I need to cut back on that, because I had lost a lot of weight and I've gained about 5 pounds back, so I don't want to. I was starting to look a little slimmer in some of my shirts, and now I'm starting to, some of them are getting a little tight, and if I get to those shirts from the 80s, it will definitely be tight, because I can't remember if I wore extra large, so I wear extra large. I still try to wear extra large. Large and medium, I definitely can't fit in medium, but when I was in high school, I could probably have worn a medium, and I may have worn large, but yeah, after high school, I was always extra large. Extra large is what I always got. And I try to stay in that, the extra large size. Double XL might have been a thing for a few years recently, but I never bought any double XL shirts. I did buy double XL like sweatshirts or hoodies and things, but yeah, I needed to lose some weight, so that's a thing. All right, here's another comment from Mayo Hosco, and I think this one may. I'm not testing you, the audience, but and I don't anticipate many people will watch all of this video, so we'll get into some of the little deeper subjects on my channel here. So shout out to you, Mayo, if you watch this long. And this is a totally innocuous comment, a totally well-meaning comment, and a comment that I do appreciate, but I want to explain something to people. There's certain terms that I don't personally use, but I understand why people use them, and I'm going to explain why I don't use it. Is that okay? And I don't want to, this is not meant to offend anybody. It's not meant to impose my views on you, and it's not meant, definitely not meant to undermine, because when I read what it is, you'll be like, how could you say anything negative about that? And I'm not saying anything negative. I'm just saying it's an expression I don't use, and it's only two words, he says, because we had a cat named Chrissy. She lived to be a little over 14 years old, and she was just a sweet cat, and I loved her a lot, and it was really hard. I was really surprised at how hard it was, because, it's an animal, animals, especially like cats, they don't live as long as people, and it's really attached to her, and it, broke all of our hearts when she died. But his comment is R.I.P. Chrissy. And I really appreciate it, because it means that he's expressed. It's like you're expressing condolences to somebody. But I'm just going to tell you, and again, I'm not trying to offend anybody or change anybody's viewpoint on anything, but I don't say R.I.P. And or as some people will say, RIP. And it's usually common. Sometimes it's done in a meme sort of, not mean, a meme, M-E sort of way. Like somebody does something, it's like, R.I.P. Like that's the end or whatever. But R.I.P. stands for rest in peace. And to me, that expression implies that once, because Chrissy died, and I said I watched her die, because we took her to the vet, and once they put her to sleep, and then they give her a thing that gets her out of her misery, and it's totally painless. So, she's dead, basically. Then she's completely dead. We brought her home. She's buried in my backyard. That's it. So she's not going to be doing anything ever again. It's sad. It's final. That's why you cry, because it's over. The cat is dead. She's in the ground. She doesn't need to be told to rest in peace. And so, how many people have I just offended? Mayo, I'm not. It's not a criticism. It's not a criticism. But I'm just explaining to you. So, if somebody has something where they lose someone, a loved one, or a pet, even, I'm not going to say R.I.P. or rest in peace. May you rest in peace. I'm literally saying the words now, but I'm not saying them in a sense that, that's what I mean to say, because I don't. But I will offer condolences. I will say that, that's terrible, or that's really sad, or I know you're going to miss that person or that animal. And I really appreciated all the nice things people said when Chrissy died, because it really was a hard time. It's harder. I felt guilty for feeling bad about it. And you guys said a lot of nice things, and I appreciate those things. But I don't worry about that expression is old, and if you do research into it, it actually comes from people are worried about the dead affecting them, and it's nonsense. It's utter nonsense. When you look at the origin of it, it's not nonsense that people say that. It's if you look at the history of it, it's nonsense. So that's my challenge, to see how many people watched the video this far, because I think origins matter. And I'm getting really tired because this video's going on a really long time, so I need to really hurry up and finish this thing. And did you catch the one that I didn't build correctly? I didn't catch it, and so I'm going to be doing a part of the video here after I get done building it, and I'll show them, and then it takes me a minute, and then I'm like, oh, I built one of them wrong. So I intended to build 78 tippers in this time, and I did build 78, but one of them was incorrect, so it's the official count. If this actually was a Guinness Book of World Record thing timed, they would subtract at least one of these for being built incorrectly, and it would be 77. So we're going to see that as soon as I get done with these last, what I got 3 more to go after this one, or 6. I can't see it because of my thing on here, but here I just slide them all over. You see I got a couple extra parts over there. So I thought I was missing a part, and I went and got it, and then I wasn't missing it, but then it actually ended up being the part that I didn't put on one of the tippers. So I got kind of I made the mistake anyway after I thought I had fixed it. So I want to thank everybody who has been leaving the comments on the videos, and I thought I would take this opportunity to talk about some of them and acknowledge all the different people, especially Mayo. He's the prolific commenter, but I'll try to do some more Q&A type segments in my videos coming up. But yeah, I know this is I guess more like a podcast video. This one, maybe I should call it a podcast. Maybe this is a I already forgot the name of my podcast. What was the name of my podcast I did? It was it BrickTsar Answer Thingy? Oh, it was the BrickTsar Files. So that's something I need to do again. Maybe we could do on my other channel, do the BrickTsar Files and just talk about whatever we want to. Kind of like what I did in this video. I didn't necessarily talk all about Lego as I was building these tipper trucks, but talk about different things, because I got a lot of different interests. It's not just Lego. It's a lot of things that I like. But it was fun talking and answering the questions. Hope I didn't offend anybody. I didn't intentionally offend. The only people I intentionally offend are people that are intentionally mean, and maybe I shouldn't even do that. It's like Yoda's been a little snarky about the Bionicle stuff. Yeah, that's Yoda. He's going to be Yoda. Alright, so that wasn't really great. 53 minutes almost to do 78 tipper trucks. I put them in 3 rows of 26 if I counted right. I'm going to put them in 6 rows of 13. Is that right? Yeah, to make it more square looking. Let's see. So there it is in all its glory. 78 tipper trucks built in 53 minutes. I challenge anyone to beat that record. If you beat that record, you will have the honor of being the fastest tipper truck army builder. I hope I didn't build any of them wrong. But more importantly, I hope I found something to talk about in those 53 minutes. So there you have it. Wow. I don't know how I feel. I feel alright. I'm alright. I don't have a temperature or anything. So there it is, folks. You'll never see this record broken. I think I'm safe with that. Oh, shoot. I built one of them wrong. Oh no. I just see it now. Oh, the record is ruined. The record will only be for 77 tipper trucks. 77. Oh, I injured myself. Just a flesh wound. One right there. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Did you catch it? Did any of y'all catch that in the video? Wow. How did I do that? So the record officially will be 77. Oh, that really stinks. I don't know how I missed that bit. And I had I was missing a piece, and then I went and got it, and I'm like, where did this extra piece come from? And then I was like, oh, I forgot to put the 2x4 plate on the top of one of them. Looks like all the rest of them have the 2x4 plates on the bottom. 77 tipper trucks. Now there's 78 built, but the record and the speed bill will only be 77 because I built one of them incorrectly. Where am I going to put these?